think it just ban makes a lot of sense, and I'd like to see Brenchong ban away the Celeste. They're going to ban the Batiste, and yeah, that gives a free Celeste to Elite 8 to pick.
Well, I think Brenchong is on the blue side right now, and Elite 8 is on the red side. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so Elite 8 picked up the Celeste.
Yep, there you go. Brenchong versus Elite 8. Elite 8 Brenchong. I think Brenchong picked up this. Yeah, correct. Brenchong picked up the Celeste and the Lance as well, and removed that of Idris, which was, although you said that it wasn't, we didn't see quite a lot of it, but in the previous game itself, Idris put up quite a performance for the side of Brenchong, just pushing the side of Elite 8 back, especially since Elite 8 picked up the Grace.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Baron and Black Feather comp, it's risky. We know that Baron, it didn't work for Brenchong in the last game, and Brenchong are definitely A-side. This is the third game, so they're back to what they started on. So I think the Crystal Black Feather's all right against Celeste. Celeste can definitely outpoke Crystal Black Feather, but once it gets into late game, I think there's not much that Elite 8 could pick to try and get there. Elite 8 love to play Celeste. They're all right on Kestrel. We haven't seen that much Kestrel, but it really did work out for them before, and so I think that they're going to be pretty happy with the Celeste Kestrel. We've seen that comp in other games where you have the two snipers, and so you can get that global double ultimate, which would be quite interesting. And I think it will work well against the Baron. I think Baron's not that good against sub heroes like Kestrel and Celeste, so I favour Elite 8 for this draft.
Definitely, I must agree with you as well. Brenchong did pick up that Baron for the first game. Rather similar bans or rather similar picks throughout. But honestly, that Baron did not quite shine through even that of the late game, because that Vox or rather the side of Elite 8 just went through with that rotation. What do you call that rotation? The sentry rotation. Let's just call it that. That particular sentry rotation, and then was able to just outplay that of Brenchong, who is on that Baron, who needs to farm up for the late game as well. And they can really just utilize the rotation in this particular game, honestly, because Baron just do not have the firepower in that early game as well. And on top of that, they have got the Celeste, they have got the Kestrel, very strong in that early game. And on top of that, round of the comp, they have got the Lance to provide that fruit. If not, then impale against a wall, not impale against a wall, Githian the enemies against the wall, stunning them out as well. So very good draft coming up from the side of Elite 8, especially like the Lance pickup, just to starve it away from the side of Brenchong.
Yeah, and I think the decision that they've gone for Celeste and Kestrel means they'll be really good at actually pressuring in the lane early on. Because one of the problems with what they tried to do with their rotation was they couldn't pressure the lane, and they were just countered. Obviously, Scarf is great at pushing minions, but so is pushing, and so they were actually unable to get that sentry rotation because they couldn't push the wave as effectively as they might want to.
Definitely. But again, we saw, the side of Brenchong really mechanically skilled as well on that Lance, and if they can work as a team, be coordinated, they can definitely pull their team comp out, team comp off at least. They just need to wait for that Baron to go into the late game, and on top of that, that CP Black Feather skill up as well. CP Black Feather, honestly, you just need to pick up the initial Shatter Glass. If not, then if you can apply a lot of pressure in lane, then you definitely will have that early game, because honestly, at level 8, you do not outpoke that Celeste, but in the early game, you will have more damage as compared to the Celeste with your on point, whereas Celeste has to land that Supernova onto you, which you can easily dodge since you're so very mobile with your Faint of Hearts. And of course, the health barrier that's provided to you when you have got that on point up.
Yeah, when Celeste tries to land those Helios, she is standing still for the period of time while casting, so that gives a really easy on point for Blackfeather, and then if she's trying to make her Helio go Supernova, he gets that health barrier. As you said, it pretty much negates the extra damage Celeste has. So I think early game CP Blackfeather, you don't tend to see a lot of invades, but it will be quite important to stop this Celeste Kestrel being able to do that sentry rotation and take it out. If they take out all 3 sentry lives before 10 minutes in, then there won't be a lot that Brenchong can do, because the Baron will won't be able to ramp up. We are now into the Halcyon Fold, and both teams are probably going to start with quite a defensive rotation. I wouldn't expect to see Celeste or Blackfeather going in aggressive.
Definitely. They just need their items. As of now, they want to play very aggressively at least before they get the items. It will be rather sad if once again Mr. Jim will be fed up again, because honestly that didn't quite work for them in that of the first game. So good thinking for the side of Brenchong, not just feeding Mr. Jim everything, realizing that Sync 1 can put equal pressure if the farm is shared throughout. However, they are not gonna vie for that Elder Treant so far, allowing E8 to just take that Treant, although Sync 1 maybe going for that steal, but unfortunately not quite hitting that on point onto that Treant. Han Jaeger though in lane up against that Han, maybe in a tough spot. Call collapse from Official Hein do come out, but no kills to be traded 1 minute in as of yet. So honestly, both of these teams playing very defensively. I mean, they should respect the powers coming out from each other, but Mr. Jim at this point in time may be losing a lot of farm under this turret.
So that is quite a big wave that's been pushed up. Grace is trying to help him out, but Baron is just really poor at clearing waves like that under turret, because when he attacks 1 minion, it splashes onto the rest of them, which he doesn't want. Anime Save Me, going to steal away the fronts. Will he get them? Yes, he will. So Sync 1 a little bit far behind. Celeste and Kestrel farming the rats together. That's a really smart idea from Elite 8, is if you want your carry to rotate down to lane to get ambient with your jungler, that obviously means your captain will be late to their fountain because they don't have the ambient gold. So what they did was they just made Lance go in against Blackfeather and just take away his front, and Blackfeather somehow managed to secure that minion with just a basic attack. I think Elite were a bit late. Dead Hunt going to get pushed into the wall, probably Impale could land, but a good rotation from Mr. Jim to try and save Dead Hunt. Dead Hunt dodging the full collapse nicely. Now seeing quite diving on to Anime Save Me, and with a lovely Gideon wall back into the wall, pushing you away and stun. Now Vendega's just going to push the wave and then probably not want to go too aggressive just in case Blackfeather is waiting.
Yep, and there is one more thing that we note as well. It's that Mr. Jim, although we do say that Baron generally is not very good in that of the early game, but he doesn't rely a lot on skill shots, whereas that of Castro really needs to land those glimmers. Else, Mr. Jim will definitely put up more damage with those kaboom. And of course, those basic attacks as well coming up from Mr. Jim, as we did see just now when Mr. Jim rotated down to just help out his team, and Official Hein got taken down very low with 2 basic attacks. So that is one thing that, honestly, the side of Elite 8 has to think about when going in for the engagement. It is their positioning, because Mr. Jim can just jump jets in and then just deal out and lash out a lot of damage, and they'll do miss onto Mr. Jim, one of the slowest hero on the foe.
Yeah, the Impale not quite connecting, and so Mr. Jim will be able to farm this wave under turret reasonably well. Dead Hunt going in against Official Hein and Jaeger's. Impale does now land Mr. Jim. Brenchong just trying to defend this turret. There's no minion candy. There's a lot of raw weapon power and crystal power on Elite 8. 3 crystal bits and 3 weapon blades means that they really are good at the early game damage. Look at that turret. It's already down to only about 1/3 health. Now, with 4 minutes in, Sentry has just spawned, but it's not quite there for Elite 8 to get. They want to do the rotation. They want to push this wave, get the Sentry, and Lance rotate down shot to get a fountain. So Elite 8 trying to push the wave, but Brenchong know exactly what's up. They're trying to clear it. Sync 1 taking a bit of hope. Lovely stun. Gideon wall, making sure that Sync 1 was also in the stun. Now Elite 8 are unable to get that Sentry rotation because Celeste wants to port home. That will just be another wave pushed, but I think Jaeger's probably will just port home to pick up the Solar Blade and won't actually go back down for the Sentry.
Yep, yeah, Anime saved me. Yep, but Anime saved me though, just sitting on that old card, and of course Iron Guard contract really needs to get the fountain, which he'll be able to now. And on top of that, a boot as well. A boot to boot. Okay, but anyways, so they are unable to perform that rotation of theirs, but honestly, if they keep up this aggression, we saw the amount of health that the turret is left with. So if they continue with the early game aggression, or the aggression being in lane, granted, they will risk the farm-wise for Official Hein at least as a jungler, but you are forcing the entirety of Brenchong up onto lane as well. So I guess at the end of the day, it's quite worth it, especially if you can push this turret
That's a massive minion candy on so many minions. I don't think Brenchong can really try and fight this unless they take the minions out first. I'm going to go in and tell him, he's very low. Lovely ball collapse on Sync 1. turret is going low. Celeste's going to get a supernova from Jaeger's glimmer shot's not landing on the turret, landing on Mr. Jim instead. He's going very low. Solar Storm connecting onto Mr. Jim. And now Lance trying to help push this wave up. Official High is level 6, Sync 1 is only level 5. Elite 8 really want to get this turret. Can Brenchong defend it? I do not think so. Kestrel with the glimmers. One more basic would get the turret. And that is a stun onto Baron. He manages to jump this away anyway. Now Elite 8, they've got that first turret. That gives them control over this defunct jungle of Brenchong, which is absolutely massive for them. I don't think Brenchong are going to try and contest this Sentry because Elite 8 doesn't look like they want to take it. They're all a bit low.
Yep, and one more thing as well, the team comp coming out from the side of Brenchong, just a tad too late game, to be honest. If you have got that early game jungler, at least you can kind of even out and offset the late game potential and just ease that Baron into that late game when he can get his items. But for now, when both Sync 1 on that CP Black Feather, and of course that of Mr. Jim on that Baron is unable to do so in the early game, because in the early game, Han Jaeger and of course Official Hein on their respective heroes are just so much stronger at the end of it all, and they only get stronger into that of the late game. So that is one thing that Brenchong has to consider going into draft. Yet again, they fall onto the same mistake, picking up that Baron, although it didn't quite work out for them in that first game.
Yeah, I think they're trying to... The Baron was an all-right decision. I don't think it was the best decision, but maybe Brenchong are confident that it will work out for them if they get towards the late game. Kestrel trying to push this wave up. Deadhunt taking a little bit of hope, a couple of glimmer shots. And now Elite 8 trying to push this wave. Minion Candy will be used. And Elite 8, lots of damage on the turret. Iron Cannon going to come down from Jaeger, taking a little bit of hope from Deadhunt. Celeste bringing it back. Lovely double impale. No wall to give you all them into. And now there is, if he wants to land it, not quite going to do so. And now Elite 8 could either rotate for a gold mine, Crystal Sentry, or try and get more damage on this turret. And they're going to go for the turret. They really want to push this wave. Celeste with an infusion has now been popped. And Sync 1 has not got a tier 3 item. It's a good time for Elite 8 to fight. Jaeger's going low, forces the fountain. Sync 1 diving in on Official High, dodges the core collapse, does not dodge the root. So the Storm a bit wide. Now Elite 8 cannot push this wave. They're just going to rotate back, go to their jungle, farm up together, and try and get another slightly more favourable team fight.
Would it be too bold of a statement to say that Anime Safety is just not very comfortable on this Lance?
I do agree. I think he doesn't look like it's one of his comfort heroes. The Impales are there, but they're not at the right time, or they're not on the right hero, and they're not when his team is with him ready to go in. It's more just he'll get an Impale on Baron, and then Baron's just like, okay, that hurt. Now I'm fine.
Yeah, that's the reason why. And I guess it's good drafting coming out from the side of the 8 to take away the Lance away from Brenchong. But they've already picked out that Grace for themselves, but another team fight will be happening. Sync 1 in a very bad positioning, but they will just back off at the end of it all. Not a lot of commitment coming out from both teams, although the poke from Sync 1 though.
Yep, there's going to be the Minion Candy. Elite 8 want the turret. They don't need to win the fight. They're just going to get another turret and back off. It's a very objective focus gameplay. Sync 1 with Faint of Heart to dive in. Doesn't want to go too deep. Baron's gone for the Solar Blade Tyrant's build, so no armor pierce because there's no armor on the side of Elite 8, and no Serpent's Master because he just wants flat out damage. He doesn't need to sustain in this game. He needs to clear minions, and he needs to get to late game when he'll have the damage to help.
Yeah, but
turn these fight around.
But looking over at Elite 8 side, the turret is still relatively, their turret is untouched at all. And even then, having taken down 2 turrets, they are not exactly in that large of a lead. They are just a mere 2k above that of Brenchong. But Brenchong doesn't know that, do they? They are playing just so passively. Baron has got 2 offensive items already. He can just go in, be committed to a team fight. Sync 1 has got that, Shatter Glass as well, has got a level 8, has got a distance on point.
With Impale onto Mr. Jim, he will be able to back off. Iron Cannon a bit wide. Mr. Jim taking a lot of poke. That's Supernova will land. Solar Storm is available. Let's go for it. She's going for it, but she's already dead. Deadhunt taking the majority of that damage. Now he's going to back off towards the Sentry. One shot, not quite going to land. Good dodge from Deadhunt, and a lovely Rose offensive over the wall, out of the core collapse. Black Feather steals away the tree, and now Official High. They're not going for the Sentry. Elite 8 just going to push this turret. They are 3v2. Good damage on the on point. And Jaegers wants to push this wave. Another 1 point does connect. He could go aggressive, and they're going to go in with their Hunt 6-1. Another 1 point doesn't quite connect. Fountain was used by Anime Save Me. Official High taking a lot of that poke, but so is Mr. Jim. Almost going to fall, and that will be Black Feather diving onto his time to kill Official High. Kestrel with the damage. He's now going in double kill with Kestrel. He trades his life, but that will be worth it. Shut down for Baron, and Kestrel, yeah. I think there was a scout trap, scout trap right by the turret. So when Kestrel was invisible, that Baron knew about it. Official Hein being so greedy with the port block doesn't quite stop out of the core collapse. One more push from Baron. I think Lance will be okay. It'll just get the wall as soon as Dead Hunt tries to go in on Official Hein, and then Anime Save Me should be fine. That's what I was hoping. That's what I was expecting from Anime Save Me. Saving your Celeste.
And on top of that as well, Githin Wall was just in time for that one-shot, one kill as well. So very good play. That is definitely a montage moment. Granted, you did not kill Dead Hunt with that, but if Han Jaeger was that crystal carry, have got to miss that, then it will be that optimum, the perfect wall, the perfect montage wall at least. But the side of Dead Hunt, or rather the side of Dead Hunt, I mean the side of Brenchong playing very passively. Although they are in the backlines, they are allowed to do that. They should just turtle up. But honestly, they have got the damage right now, as we did see in a lot of team fights. They have got the damage, but they're just unwilling to commit. If not, then Elite 8, because when Elite 8 do commit, they have only just one target. That Han did try to go in for that still.
Jaegers manages to secure the gold mines, and that will go in favour of Elite 8. 6-1 diving into the backline, has to immediately back off. One shot not going to connect onto anybody. Official Hein wants to do the damage. There's the no-look Solar Storm. There's no need to do the animation. They'll just stand there and fling it out. Now Elite 8 wanting to push onto this third turret. I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with the gold mine. They don't need to get a turret. They could just rotate down to Sentry. They know that Brenchong aren't there. That would be a step. The Minion Candy indicates the Sentry push. I think that's the first one for Elite 8. I'm not sure. And so Brenchong could try and defend it. It looks like the minion wave is too pushed for them to do so. So a free Sentry, first Sentry defeated for Elite 8, and Sync 1's going to back off.
Yep, it is the first Sentry at the end of it all. Elite 8 not really pulling out that Sentry rotation that we were talking about so much in that first game, and in fact in yesterday's games with impunity as well. But however, we are seeing Elite 8 at home with that very objective focused gameplay that we've seen a lot coming up from them as well. Just not caring at all about the kills and just going in for those turrets and of course objectives as well. You just need to get your enemies really low, force them to back off, and then you can just go in for that turret and just secure that objectives for yourself. So honestly, very good play coming up from the side of Elite 8 right now. How do you think, Mini, the side, or rather, Brenchong should respond? Because playing passive right now is not really your options, although they try to be very aggressive with their play styles, but once they are engaged on, they just run away immediately. Do you think they should just continue pussy-feeting into all of these team fights, or they should just muster up some courage and possibly win the team fights with the courage that they've mustered?
I think there's going to be a warships actually onto the turret, and Jaeger doesn't quite get it. They're going very aggressive now. That's going to be onto the Black Weather with the faithful part of Official Hein trying to run away. Solar Storm will do a lot of damage, but there's the engagement from Brenchong. That's the aggressive plays. That's the courage. The turret did fall. Anime Save Me now going to go roll. He will port, but nope. You're going to have to try and impale over the wall. And will it be available? No, he misses the impale. Ace for Brenchong, but they did lose their tier 3 turret, so that will be tier 3 turret in turn for a tier 1 turret. Brenchong are going to get. And in response to your question, I think we just saw the answer, Luxuria.
Yep, very timely, ace coming out from the side of Brenchong, being able to just take down take that ace, and of course this turret as well. And I must say, a lot of times when I do ask the questions myself, the next team fight, it's basically the answer to my question. But now though, the side of Brenchong will just go in possibly for this gold miner, or they will just back off. Oh, sorry, I did not see the timing at all. And this is what I'm talking about. The side of Brenchong have obviously got that damage, right? As long as Anime Save Me, or rather, as long as the side of Elite 8 just have to be caught out of position just a little bit. And even then, if not caught out of position at all, they have a lot of direct damage onto those heroes of Elite 8, but they are just unwilling to commit. They are very it's for the lack of better words, they are very pussyfoot into going into all of these engages. So it is something that, you know, concerns me at the end of it all, because they obviously have got the damage in accordance to that team fight at least. But, you know, they really need to find that a scenario, or, you know, that fight that they can go in, can commit as well, and not allow don't allow Elite 8 to just poke them out before they engage, because that is what happened a lot of times in a lot of team fights as well, that Elite 8 came out on top. It's because Brenchong just allowed them themselves to be poked out even before the real fight begins.
Yeah, that is very important, that Blackfeather needs to dive in. I know it's a Crystal Power Blackfeather who generally wants to poke, but against a Kestrel Celeste, you're not going to be able to do that at all. The Sync One just needs to dive in, focus the same target as Mr. Jim, who has got an awful lot of damage, I think is the best way to put it. Solarblade, he's actually gone for 100 and a little bit % crit chance. I'm not quite sure why he's got that Minion's Foot. So double Tyrants and the Tornado Trigger gives you 100% crit chance. So a Minion's Foot to give you a guaranteed crit on the next basic is useless. He should sell that and pick up a Bone Saw, or maybe even another Solarblade, or a Breaking Point, anything. They're going to go for the fight. Mischief going very low. They say he's going to take a little bit of the poke. Now there's Sync One diving onto Jaegers. On point does not land. And doing the damage, but that is Blackfeather falling. He missed the on point. He is going to fall. Jaegers very low on energy. Baron is going to back off. And now Mr. Jim just going to clear the wave. This could be a free Kraken for Elite 8. They are 3v2. But Kestrel had to port home, I said, because of energy. And now Elite 8 trying to push. In fact, Brenchong trying to push to the wave, and Elite 8 aren't quite sure what to do. They are now going to start the Kraken, but it will be flared out. Brenchong are going to know about it. Do you think they're going to be able to steal this?
Yep, I mean, the amount of damage coming up from Mr. Jim, he doesn't have to go in for the Kraken right now, but he can just slowly poke down the entirety of Anime Save Me, in which he is doing right now.
Here we go. Celeste secures it with a hit Supernova. I'm pretty sure that's how Celeste manages to secure a Kraken. One shot onto Dead Hunt, and Baron's trying to do as much damage as he can onto this Kraken. Visual High with a poke. That is going to be a double shot after a Iron Cannon. And look at Official High. Sliver of health, and we'll be able to port home, but Mr. Jim knows that Celeste portal home. Will be loads of damage onto MSA. Now working on the Jaegers. That's going to be 2, 3, 4 shots onto the Jaegers, more than enough to take him down. And now Baron's going back to the Kraken. This will be a free 500 goal for Brenchong. So Celeste just trying to help out with an ult. Blackfeather gets the kill onto Lance. And now Celeste trying to 1v2. Dead Hunt is going to get the Holy Nova. That's going to be an easy stun for Celeste. Dead Hunt will probably lose his life. Yes, he will. Sync One unable to do this on Celeste. But Baron is bearing down on that Kraken. I think Kraken may get one turret. Mr. Jim not quite able to take it down, which is Syria.
Yeah, but I think Kraken will have a chance to get this turret. Had Mr. Jim gotten that tension bow, maybe he would have an easier time, but Kraken would definitely be taking this turret down. So I guess it's not all for naught for the side of Elite 8, although they could have pushed better. Celeste's positioning in that team fight, she was just caught out in that Ion Cannon, and on top of that, Baron's A as well, and that just kind of spells disaster if you cannot position yourself well as a mage. And on top of that, Hunt Jaeger and Official High, they are both very squishy heroes, and it's down to Anime Save Me to provide those CCs. And like you said earlier on, Anime Save Me have got an insane peel with that Geathian Wall. So if Anime Save Me cannot lock the enemies down with those Geathian Wall, then at least peel for your carries at the end of it all, because they are very, very squishy. And in order for you to win any team fights, they must stay alive. They have the most damage as compared to you, at least. So once again, all 3 members in play.
Gonna get impaled. He hasn't got the Slumbering Husk yet. He's got the Oak Heart, so the Dragon Heart working towards it, but hasn't got that passive available to him. I think one gonna dive in, play the part onto the Jaegers, gonna block the stuff with the most defensive. There's the Iron Cannon, fantastic placement on the Iron Cannon. Hide going very low, on point, managed to land on 2 members. But look at Hun Jaegers, he is on a sliver, even lower than Celeste was earlier on. But he's forced to port home. No, he's not. He's just gonna one shot, and now he should port home. Well done. And Jaeger's able to back away. Mr. Jim needs to get that husk. He can shop. He can afford it when he rotates down to shop, or maybe we'll see a Crucible. Who knows on this Baron? And a good fight from Elite 8. I think Sync One is extremely unfortunate to not pick up Jaeger's, and probably could have got Official High if he'd have stayed alive, because Baron was ready to bear down on that Celeste.
Yep, I think Haas it's the optimum choice of defense at this point in time. Firstly, it's not that expensive, and of course, as a Baron, you don't really need to say uh, block out anything because you have got the jump jets available. So all you need to do is just be able to tank out the burst coming out from the side of Elite 8. And I personally think that Elite 8 just allowed, Mr. Jim on that Baron to just scale so much into the late game right now. Since now Baron has got 100% crit on top of that, very raw damage in terms of that Sorrow Blade as well. So they have to really watch out for the damage coming out from Baron.
And Jaegers, what are you doing? Jaegers just rotating, not with his team at all. Official Hein going to try 1v1, take one under the sentry. Should be able to pick up the kill with one more healer Genesis, but he's not going to get it. The talk that doesn't land, massive damage, but that's the Husk doing his work, keeping Baron alive. Sentry MVP, not quite enough going to pick up Mr. Jim, but there's a lot of scout traps which would pick up Mr. Jim's life if Anime Save Me manages to bait him onto one of them, and he's going to boots away. Mr. Jim is too scared to help with this Kraken for now until he gets a Treant. Now, Anime Save Me, will he do it with the Impale? It shouldn't be possible because Mr. Jim should easily be able to secure this Kraken, but Anime Save Me is definitely going to try it. Kestrel one-shot in 6 seconds. This is just a bait to allow Kestrel to one-shot the Kraken. So he does now hit the scout trap, but he's healthier now. Kestrel has the one shot. They should body block it. He has no idea about when they're taking back in one shot. The Husk saves his life again. That buff the slumbering Husk to make it cooldown reduced, saving Mr. Jim's life. And now Brenchong look to be winning this game.
Yep, Brenchong looking very strong at this point in time. They could probably close out this game as well. To be honest, Mr. Jim has just got so much damage right now, and he can single-handedly just take down all of the carriers coming out from the side of Elite 8, and that is just insane. I mean, although we saw some changes made to Baron, but Baron is still strong, but he is so easily countered now, as long as you know how to play an early game, in which I must say...
Popped, Visual Hind jumping over the wall, he's going to get stunned by the corner collapse. Now there's more threats in by Anime Safety. Solar Storm going to pick up Black Feather on the back line. Mr. Jim taking a lot of damage. He's going to lovely jump jets over the wall, and that will be a 3 Kraken for Elite 8. Baron not quite able to do the damage, and a good stun from Visual Hind.
Yep, so that is, I mean, the Husk is just so valuable for Mr. Jim on this Baron. A lot of times it just came in clutch for him. And honestly, yet again, there you go.
Once again. And he has enough gold that he can just keep selling and rebuying his Husk. Even if you look at the cooldown, it's already about 1/3 off cooldown. And so, yeah, he could just, if he really needs it, he could just sell it and buy it again. And then it will be available for the next team fight. So now we're seeing Elite 8. One of their sentries was taken.
He
they
just
now
did
know
so.
they're going to get their own. Yeah, he did it before, and now he can sell and buy the Husk. So it would have been up again for the next team fight. He didn't need to do that, but why not just guarantee that it's going to be up by buying it again? I think the Elite 8 have a chance to win this. If they get an ace, they get the game. Similarly, we're 24 minutes in. If Brenchong get an ace, there's only 2 turrets left. They've got a Baron. He would easily be able to secure the win. So all the pressure is on both these teams. The gold is now coming towards dead even. Black Feather with the metal jacket and working towards probably an Atlas one shot. I'm going to connect onto anyone. And yeah, Jaegers needs that bone sword just to work through Sync 1's defense.
But honestly, even for now, the goal difference wouldn't mean much whatsoever, because if you think about it, everyone is close to full build. Official High just need them Halcyon charges. Can't Jaeger full build Anime Save Me needs a cooldown item, which is slowly building into a problem now with Gauntlet. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe a Clockwork Nullwave would make the most sense just to counter that Grace.
Yeah, probably now with
good item on Lance, and they're going to go for a fight. Not quite jump just away from Baron. Double shot trying to save him. Pale does miss. This is the engage for Brenchong. What they wanted, lovely damage onto 6-1 by Jaegers. Absolute domination. Now there's going to be Baron be caught out. He can do all the damage that he can. Dead Pump with the double Divine Intervention. There's no mortal wound to stop that heal. Dead Hunt's armor's being shredded. 5 stacks of Bonesaw. Lovely block on the Impale. Can Kestrel do the damage? One more Glimmer will be enough. The Bonesaw getting the kill for Jaegers. The double for Jaegers, a bit delayed. And now Elite 8 can just try to push for the win. What can Mr. Jim do? If he gets an ace, he'll probably be able to get the win himself. Now they're going to go straight up to the tower. Mr. Jim's got to go for the plays. But Jaeger's taking them. He will fall. Official Hind is on the vein. Mr. Jim, get your jump jets up. You've got to go to Official Hind. Anime Safety will fall. Can Official Hind get the vein? He's so low on energy. Mr. Jim, he's got his husk up 2 seconds to the jump jets. And Official Hind basic attacking the vein. Will it be enough? One more shot from Baron.
Oh!
The vein does not smash. Just barely. 50 seconds on Celeste. Baron could just go for the win. Kestrel's up in 35 seconds. It takes about 20 seconds for a hero to walk down to the enemy base. Baron can make it 25 because he's a bit slower. Will Kestrel be up in time? Luxuria, what a close game.
What a close game indeed. Brenchong, stop clearing those minions and just go in to end that game. You guys have got the damage. You guys can take turns to tanker. But Castro, Hanjäger up in 10 seconds. 9, 8. We can start counting down right now.
Sync1 is taking the tower. Hanjäger's is back up. Not enough in time. Sync1 will fall. Almost definitely to the tower. Mr. Jim, can he do it? 1v1 on Hanjäger's. The damage is onto the minions. Hanjäger gets the kill. Now we're going to see a reverse counter push to the main. And that will be Elite 8 taking the win. We saw Elite 8 push, a counter push,
what a game,
and a counter push. GG, well played to both teams. And I think Celeste is going back to make sure the minions don't take the main. You never know in this case. We might just saw a minion MVP. And
yeah,
I think
true.
If Official Hind got those Halcyon charges a bit earlier, this game would have ended when Celeste was on the vein. Because she didn't have it, he said Celeste was missing Halcyon charges. That means she wasn't able to take it. And Celeste thought she could buy an Echo and use it for the vein, but that's not how Echo works. You have to have it available for you, Joel. Well played, both teams.
Well played indeed. Of course, a very close game. Very, very close game. I don't know what to say. I mean, Baron looks like he has got this, and honestly, had they not just cleared a minute and just went straight into the base, the side of Brenchong would probably have gotten this game. But honestly, what's done. Very well played coming out from both teams. E8, a lot of mistakes as well. They allowed Mr. Jim to just farm up way too much. And Brenchong, honestly, you know, a couple of mistakes here and there, especially Sync1 on that CP Black Feather, do not seem very comfortable on it.